CountryWide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lamp.
But we are talking coffee. We're heading to Northland, where our next guest is joining us, stepped out of a conference. So we really appreciate your time. Peter Shepherd is the chairman of, I had that in front of me, the New Zealand Coffee Producers Association. It's something I didn't know that we had here. Peter, thank you. Firstly, where are you joining us from today?
Joining you from Brisbane today at my day job is as a professor in the medical school. So I'm here for a diabetes conference in Brisbane. And I can affirm that our other project we're involved in is developing obesity drugs. So maybe Richard is not a good person to be testing our new obesity drugs on.
What about me? You can have a go at me.
Amazing.
I didn't want to say anything. But,
go on. Everyone else does. Don't worry about it, Peter. Everyone else has a crack.
Peter, how do you wear the chairman of the New Zealand Coffee Producers Association hat?
I really don't know. I turned up at a meeting, and there were 6 of us who joined the association to start it, and we had to have 5 on the committee. So one person didn't want to be on it, so I ended up being on the committee, and then stepped into a room and somehow got voted on, even though I only grow 30 coffee plants myself at the moment. So I'm not quite sure, but it's a team effort anyway. We work really, really collaboratively. It's a really enthusiastic bunch of people, ranging from people who have been growing coffee for a while right through to enthusiasts like myself.
Richard, while we were trying to get the audio up, I was surmising randomly, without really any knowledge, that coffee could be grown in New Zealand, particularly in Northland, and maybe climate change is starting to make that a more viable option. Is that true, or is we've always been able to grow coffee in Northland? Yeah. It's just we've never really done it.
Yeah, I think the latter a bit. We never had the confidence to reach out to coffee as a crop. We assumed it was to be grown somewhere else. But the weird thing is that when you grow coffee in the tropics, you grow it at high altitudes to keep the temperatures down. So the climate ends up being like far north at sea level. So when I go overseas and talk to coffee growers, they keep saying, what altitude are you growing your coffee at? And I say, sea level, and they think I'm mad. But of course, sea level here is a temperate climate in Northland.
What is that temperate range for coffee?
About 15 to 30. Don't want to get it too hot. That's why a lot of the coffee crops around the world now are in danger, because they're getting too hot in some countries and having to move to cooler places. So, that's part of the opportunity for us. But I think it's just also that we've, just gathering momentum and realizing we can do it, and we can probably do it better than people overseas.
How hard is coffee to grow then, Peter? I mean, we're always looking for a crop to be able to diversify. Is it hard? Is there a trick to it?
Look, if I can grow it, anybody can. I mean, my number one attribute in the garden is killing plants. And so if I can keep the coffee plants alive, anyone can. They're very robust. They're very resilient. The caffeine keeps a lot of the pests away. You don't have to do that much to them. It's not like avocados or anything, which are really temperamental. So actually, it's quite a hands-off crop, really, in many ways.
So what takes this beyond a cottage industry into a commercial scale, Peter?
Well, that's what we're really working on with all these initiatives we're setting up. And so, we got a lot of information out there. We'd like other people to sort of, see how they might fit into this. We've got a new website, newzealandcoffee.org, people can see, or they can come to our conference on the 5th of June or come and see a real coffee plantation on the 6th of June at our field day. And what we really want to find out is what the appetite is out there for people to get involved and scale up, because it'll need a lot more beans than we've got at the moment to develop a fully fledged industry. And it'll need more than the 6 of us who started the association to really do that. So we're looking for anyone out there who wants to maybe convert an avocado block because it's uneconomic, use some unused land, or maybe for some of those farmers who just came, dairy farmers who just got $500,000 payout from Frontier and want to diversify into something. So they can use their milk for the flat white part of the coffee.
Peter, so on that, obviously growing the crop is one part of the problem, but then whatever you need to do, the production to make it into coffee, do you need a huge amount of infrastructure? What is the process?
No, you don't, actually. You just need to get the pulp off the coffee and then ferment it in different degrees and in different ways, which you can do in a bucket, actually. And then hull it, just get the last bit of the skin off, and then dry it. I mean, the actual processing equipment is relatively cheap in the big scale of things, and the real value comes in the way you process it, and that's where a lot of the what we call specialty coffees that attract the higher prices a bit like the fine wines, those specialty coffees are done by bespoke methods. Everyone has their own little secret way of fermenting it, and that's why we're reaching out to the New Zealand beer and wine industry to try and collaborate with the different yeasts they've got, for example, and Kiwi know-how. Kiwis have been amazing at horticulture, turning crops that no one thought could really do much into amazing crops. So we're reaching out to those other areas of the horticulture industry to help us.
I don't know about you, Andy, but I feel like we're just on the cusp of something very exciting here. I can feel the buzz from Peter and why you're involved. It's interesting that you were mentioning about those higher value premiums. So therefore, what varieties specifically will work in New Zealand? Is this part of this MPI trial, is working through the right varieties?
Absolutely. And that's, when you start off with something like that, no one really wants to take a huge leap until they've got a bit of a handle on what's going to work. And there's a whole range of factors here, ranging from soil types to the plant varieties. And so we're reaching out to bring in some new plant varieties that are high value ones. But until we've sort of planted them in different locations and done the different fertilizer tests and different, do they need irrigation or not, tests, we won't really know. So it's early days. But having said that, there's a couple of orchards up north successfully growing and producing coffee and making a livelihood out of it. So we know it can be done. It's just, can we do it on a bigger scale, and more widely?
All right. Well, fascinating. We'll follow this one very closely. Really appreciate you on the show to us today, and thanks for taking your time out from your conference to come and have a chat to us, Peter. Thank you.
No problem. Anytime.
All right.
Thank you.
CountryWide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lapp.